Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Christian Brindle coming to you with somebody doing big time things in the space. And today I'm with somebody that is no stranger to our world, our company, this channel. I have Miss Becky Rill with us today, somebody who I am her number one fan. I will fight anybody that wants to, challenge me for that title. I'm Becky's number one fan. Um, and I we just found it fitting. Becky the last couple years has been one of our very anticipated speakers at the summit this year. This year they have a conflict, aren't going to be able to be there, and so we found it appropriate to bring you guys some amazing content uh, as a substitute since this will be coming out before the summit. So first off, Becky, how are you?
I am great. I just have a recent high school graduate, and so life has shifted from that to now back to a little more normalcy for us. And that
Yes. Well,
I
congratulations on that. That's always super exciting to see them get over the finish line with that. Um, Talk a little bit about, so for anybody that doesn't know you, um, talk a little bit about your guys' agency, that what you and Keith have built. For those of you that don't know, uh, Becky runs her agency with her husband Keith. They are the definition of a power couple. Um, they both are so smart and talented in different ways, and they bring amazing things. You guys complement each other as well as any couple I've ever seen in our space. Um, Talk a little bit about your business, what you guys have built, and maybe just like the elevator pitch version of that.
Okay, sounds good. So in case you don't know us, I'll give you the 30-second version of our background of our story. And it is that I decided at the beginning of 2020 that I wanted a career change, moved into the health insurance Medicare space, launched my business 1 week into COVID. So that was great timing. I worked the business for the first about 2 years on my own, grew to such a point that I just could not handle this by myself, even having an assistant. And Keith left the corporate world after 29 years in IT and joined me. So he started right at the beginning of 2022. And since that time, we have just continued to grow and grow. And now have Katie as our assistant. My son has even come on a part-time role for specific projects we've needed him for. And here we are, 5 years later, with our
Yep.
with our with our business.
And in a 5 year time span, right? Like you guys have written thousands of apps.
Mhm.
You have built such an amazing, incredible business. And you've done it in a way to where I would call what you guys do attraction marketing. You attract business to you. Um, and you guys have really got it down to a science on everything that you do in the business and each in a specific way of how you do things, whether it be the marketing, whether it be the organization, whether it be the efficiencies, automations, CRMs, everything like that. Um, Talk a little bit about the marketing system, right? That has
Mhm.
not 100% on its own, right? Because I know you're a guru at extracting referrals and building referral relationships. I know that's a huge part of what you do. Um, but talk a little bit about the marketing system that has helped you build the clientele and done it in a way to where you're not chasing people, they're literally chasing you.
True. And we have built to that point that that's exactly what's happening, which is a great place to be. In the beginning, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. It was trial and error. It was listening to a lot of people online, especially during COVID time. Most of it was, or a lot of it was you, Christian, trying to figure out what can I do? How can I grow this? How do I get started? And so I have always been one about building relationships, number one. And number two, having a positive impact as a person in my community. So that's kind of how I based the marketing to start. So of course, yes, I did already know people, not necessarily Medicare related, but I really immersed myself in the community in different ways and networking and trying to volunteer and all those things that we still do to get to know people and so that they would get to know us, so that they could get to know, like, and trust us. And then the other big thing that I had launched was this postcard system. And it's kind of evolved over the years. It was not great in the beginning. Looking back now, I realize it was pretty poor, but we trial and error, we figure it out. So that's a lot of what we have done, is try to figure out a way to come up with a system to hit people repeatedly in certain time frames before they're turning 65, with a system that we can give them a personal touch right off the bat. We're not looking really to go outside of our backyard. We started wider. We've definitely brought it in. So just to let everyone in our community know that, hey, we are the go-to people, that we're living right here too, and a lot of scammers out there, and we just want to be that trusted person. And in addition to that, you can tell all your friends, family, coworkers, church members, everybody that, the Rills are there and will help you, and make sure that you're educated, reduce your stress, all those trigger points and stress points that people have. And so we've done that primarily. I started with I use a postcard that is very personalized. It has our picture on it. It has right where we live, right here in the county, a personalized message calling people our neighbors, hey neighbor, when we're writing to them, and just reaching them early enough that they're hearing from us typically first or very early on, before they're hearing from others and getting all the kind of the spam mail that starts to fill up their mailboxes.
Right. Yeah. And I want to highlight something on the mailers that you're talking about, right? So like people might hear mail, they're like, "Oh, direct mail, big deal." But you guys do it and have done it in such a unique way, in my opinion, to where it's very strategic. Every
Mhm.
last detail is intentional, right? From the colors you use to the size of the postcard, um, to when they're being mailed out. And you mentioned, like repeated mail, and also focusing on your backyard, right? You do a pretty close-knit radius of where you are. I've heard you say before, you want to be the hero of your backyard.
Right.
And it's such a duplicatable process, I feel like, that agents can kind of tap into and have success with in their own regard. But um, talk about that a little bit, right? Like it's a marketing drip system. How far out does it go from people's birthdays? What are some unique characteristics that you feel like make the card stand out? Because when people turn 65, they get lots of mail, right? What
Right.
helps your card stand out?
So there are some, and like you said, very intentional things we've done since day one, using these. First of all, they are bright and colorful. We use kind of a blue and a seafoam kind of color. So the cards themselves, they are blue. They're actually like an ombre. So it really, the color changes on the card. So they don't look like anything else than that anyone else is mailing out. It's not black and white. It doesn't have, it doesn't have the standard font. Like we built the font, the message, the card so that it would stand out. So the first thing that I wanted was when someone opened up their mailbox and they're going through all the mail, even if they have other postcards, like this one's like, oh, you stop, you hesitate for just a second
Hmm.
because it's so colorful. And then it has our picture on it. So it was just me when I started, Keith and I. And again, we're not all serious and formal. He's sitting on a chair and I've got my arm kind of slung over his shoulder, and it's a very casual, welcoming. That was intentional. We didn't want
Hmm.
like a standard business portrait. It's to be
Right.
more of a, kind of laid back. We're approachable people. So the size of the card, we always use an 8.5 by 5.5. Didn't start that way, made a big difference when we went to that bigger postcard. Again, because it stands out, and we let people know that we are their licensed health insurance agents specializing in Medicare to help them, and we're right here. So I always tell everybody the size of the card, The color, it's gotta pop. Having a picture is really important. And again, some people do like these, they're like, oh, they try to get their whole family in and they're like this big. They still gotta be able to
Hmm.
connect with your face. Because when
Yeah.
people call us, they mention the cards and say, oh, I feel like I know who I'm talking to because your face is right in front of me on this card. So if they start to we start to build a relationship and we haven't even spoken yet because they feel like they know us a little bit. And then of course the wording is super important so it doesn't sound spammy or salesy. That it's, hey, you got this big birthday coming up and we're here to help you. So that's
Yeah.
really important. Yeah. And I think you asked about the timing. We always started, or when we made the adjustments, we started sending out so that first birthday card landed 7 months before their actual 65th birthday month.
Mm.
So a couple people that are now using the cards, they've backed it up to 8 or 9 months. And we're totally cool with that. We're like, that's even better. I think,
The
again,
earlier the better to an
early
extent.
that we started this 5 years ago, and it is different even from 5 years ago. So we're like, yeah, actually hitting like 975 or 864 months before their birthday month. Perfect. It's that consistency, having the same picture on
Hmm.
every card, the same messaging, even though it's not the exact same postcard, colorful. It's still got all those same characteristics. So it's still got the same branding, even though the message is a little bit different.
Yeah. Talk about how effective this has been, this system for your guys' agency, right? Like we talked about, fifth year basically in the business and
Right.
gotten to the point where you guys you've written thousands of policies, thousands of clients. Um, Talk about where you're at now because of how effective this is. I just really want to impress upon everybody that's watching how just unbelievably successful this has been in growing your agency.
Sure. So I would say with a combination of these postcards and of course, the connections that we've got in the community, so that hasn't ended. When we started, it was not like, oh, 20 people a month are calling us when these cards drop. That's not how this works. It is
Hmm.
a slow build. So we always say this idea with this marketing is a marathon. So someone who says, I need to make $5,000 next month, this isn't it. It's one of
Right.
these things that it's a slow build, but once that train starts rolling, it can get to the point where, I mean, it is flying along, and that's what we found. So it does take months of consistency of mailing the cards and knowing some people don't respond until they get that third card. So it takes time to build that up. Once you've got this going, when we started, we had a solid 2+% rate of the cards that we sold that people were calling, we were writing. It did drop off a bit. I think all mailers have, and it's because of the abundancy of them. So we've told people that. So still a 1% is great.
Yeah.
With, but we also started to get more and more referrals. So um, right after AEP, this last one, Keith and I sat down and we're like, listen, we are growing at such a speed. Either we have to start bringing on LOAs, which we have chosen not to do. It's a personal decision. And for us, that's just not it.
Yeah.
And we were concerned about being able to service our current clients at top-notch service, as well as because we always ask for referrals every single time. Hey, any friends, family, anyone we can help, we're happy to. And our clients do that. So we made the decision, which was really hard for both of us because this is what we've always done, that starting January 1st, we stopped our postcard system because we were getting so much business from it.
Yeah.
And we decided to become 100% referral from our current clients and businesses that we've partnered with. So it works so well that we're not even using it anymore.
Yep. You
Oh.
had you had so much growth that you got
Mhm.
to the point where, you and Keith reached exactly where you wanted to be. You guys have two kids. You guys are super involved in their lives, right? Your son is playing basketball for, college basketball. So I know you guys are very involved in that net, and you got to the point where you're like, we grew, we exploded our business. The growth was just too much. You had to turn it off because it was too much in a sense, right? Like, um, which is amazing. Um, I just really wanted to kind of highlight that, because there are people in our business that will be in 25 years and will never get to that point, Um, and so that's an amazing, incredible accomplishment. Um, you and Keith had the foresight to put everything that you guys have done, and I know the postcard system is just one element of that. Um,
Mhm.
it's I know that you guys are incredibly proficient in how you organize things now, your CRM, how you do your drug comparisons. I know Keith has been instrumental to your guys' business with his IT background and everything like that. Um,
Mhm.
but you guys put everything that you've done to make your agency so explosive and so successful into a training that
Yeah.
I've
Mhm.
gone through personally, and I can speak, on my experience with it. It's phenomenal. You guys have done an amazing job with it. You really hold nothing back, and you share all of the details of that. But I think the most important thing is it's so duplicatable. I used that word a second ago, but I wanted to kind of come back to that. Like, it's so actionable, and it's very clear and it's very step by step. Um, Talk about that training a little bit before we kind of get into some of the other things that are in it.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So keep in mind, I was pretty computer illiterate starting this. I like my post-it notes. I like my little, I didn't even want spreadsheets. I was paper, pen, tablets of paper. So I had to change. But before Keith even made the decision to join me in this business, he's like, okay, this is growing like crazy. I had no idea this was going to happen. I didn't either. So we've got to get things in place for you that you can handle on your own because he was still working a 40 hour, yeah, right, 80-hour a week corporate job. So what did is he went out and found like the most basic systems that were inexpensive, simple, and then kind of built on that for me so that I could literally, if I knew to click this button and then click this button, it would get me where I wanted to go. So he set all that up that he started to do some automation, which again, pretty simple stuff. And before him, I actually paid someone to do a couple of things. He's since tweaked it to make it better. But
Mhm.
yeah, and then when he came on board, he's like, oh, whoa, if we really want like massive growth, there is so much now. If this is my full-time job, that I can go all in. So he just started getting things that I didn't even know what they were and just setting up these systems and automation. He went out and researched all sorts of CRMs and all the things and came back and said, man, I'm good. What I started you with is where we're staying because this still has everything we need plus some more. So yeah, so he started recording that because I didn't know exactly how to use and actually built this up where to the point he said, boy, anybody could take this and do it. So they could set up the CRM, they could set up the automation for their Calendly, they could get client information forms before, you even talk to the person in person. And so he just set that all up, which was huge. And then when we decided to like, hey, people are asking us all the time, how do you do this? We don't have enough hours in the day to talk to all these people. They just put it all together. So I did like all the marketing stuff. He did all, I consider it the IT stuff. Um, and I always was searching for something that was strictly meat and potatoes. Don't give me fluff. Don't tell me, oh, well, you could go build this out yourself, but you figure it out.
Right.
We've already done it. So why recreate the wheel? We could just have this for people. So that's kind of why we did it and why we keep doing it. And then we felt it was really important to have ongoing support. So we still, a couple years later after starting this, every month we do a Q&A session with anyone who's part of it. They can just come on and we have some people that started this 3 years ago and they just pop on. They're like, hey, just want to ask a question, want to hear what was going on. We have new
Yeah.
people. It's all over, but it's just, so you still got some support and you can just fire questions at us and we'll answer anything they ask. So it's just kind of the whole meat and potatoes from A to Z of what we do and how we do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I love about it so much is, you guys, I mentioned it earlier, you guys complement each other so well, your strengths, your skill sets, and
Mhm.
it shines through in that training. Like you go through the marketing and the idea of it, what to look for, the psychology of it, what makes it work, right? And it really is inbound marketing, right? Like, from the standpoint of the you're not getting business reply cards sent back to you and you call them or show up at their door or anything like that. They're calling you,
Right.
super high intent, calling you. It's effective. It's that drip, drip, drip kind of effect of it, the great branding that you guys do. You're also going through how you build referral partners and your ability to network and your tips of networking, which there's nobody better than you. And and then Keith is going through which CRM you guys are using, how to customize it, how to duplicate the automations that you guys are using it for, right? And so it's just this great 1-2 punch on both sides of the business because really to have the growth that you guys have had, you need both sides of that.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
and yeah, it's just tremendous. So talk a little bit about like how many videos is the training and how much does it go for these days? I've always said it's underpriced. It really is. For all the value you guys give, it could be offered at a much higher price point. But talk about those things.
Yeah. I have no idea how many videos we have.
Oh, just
That's all.
roughly, just
I'm going
roughly.
to give, actually, someone just reached out to me today and said, "Hey, can you?" And actually, I have it right here. I can flip it up here. We have 57 lessons. There we go. That's
There you go.
where we're up to. And again, we're not talking hours long. We're giving it in chunks. And even something that would be really long, I break it down into like three different videos because my mind wouldn't stay focused either.
Yeah,
So
very
yeah,
digestible.
yep, yep. And we priced it when we started it at 7.99, and we've never raised it. We've never lowered it either. People will ask, "Hey, let us know when it goes on sale." And we respond, "I guess you could say it's on sale because it's the
Yeah,
price it is." So, and we just agreed when we started this, we were not going to ever raise it. We wanted it to be affordable. So anyone who is either just starting out or they were coming off being a captive agent and they want to do this on their own now independently, someone who's been stuck in the rut for a while and like this just isn't growing, or they've been around a while and maybe they're adding on Medicare, or just their business has kind of regressed and need some fresh ideas. So the idea was always, and when we came up with a price point, we just said we wanted it to be that if someone invested in this with two new to Medicare applications, they're turning a profit. So
mm,
basically, their income, that's where we kind of landed. So we felt like, we're not looking for the big call centers because they do their thing. Like we really have focused on either that, the solopreneur, or, you got two or three people, it could be a family business, whatever it is, that it's smaller and you are really just wanting to just explode your business locally. And so that's why we priced it like we did. We just figured, two apps and you're turning a profit. So even if it
yeah,
works a tiny bit for you, you still made your money back. So
absolutely. And
yeah,
there's no yearly subscription fees or anything like that. It's one and done, right?
yeah, one and done. And when we just keep adding videos, they're just on there. When we do our meetings, we let everybody know, and especially with the CRM stuff and some of the automations. I know Keith is great because people say I'm stuck with, and he's like, "Oh, here's my number, call."
Yeah,
I'll help you
yeah,
get it set up. I'll troubleshoot. I'll tell you what I did. So, so it's an ongoing thing. We don't send anybody a bill after that. It
yeah,
just is what it is for the price point.
yeah, yeah. I have several questions for you, but I just wanted to make sure we mentioned that so I didn't forget.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, we'll throw a link to that training course down in the description of this video at the very top. So if you guys want to go check that out, highly recommend it. I, of course, endorse it. Becky and Keith are the real deal, and they've built an unbelievable agency in such a short period of time. It's remarkable. Um, so first question I have for you is when you started, right? You started during COVID, or, right before COVID. Did you ever see your agency growing to this point and as quickly as it did?
So yes, I knew it would grow to this point because that's just my mindset with anything I do.
Absolutely, because you're a winner.
I think no, I thought where we are now, we'd probably be at year 15. And again, I had nothing to base it on, but I just thought, oh, if we can have kind of this much growth every year, so to be starting year 5, where, I guess now we're in year 6, but in 5 years, I mean, I said at year 1, oh, that's where I thought I'd be at year 3. And then year 2, I was like, oh, wait, this is where I thought I'd be at like 5 years. And it just keeps
Right.
going farther, farther and farther out. So we had no idea the potential with this. But from day one, and I think you even said this to me very early on, like when I was like when will I really feel like I've succeeded? And it's different for everybody. But
Yeah.
where that year 3 is, you stick it out through that, man, I think that's for most people that are in this business, they agree. Like that's when the magic happened. And now you've really got this yearly, per member, that commission you're getting every single month. And plus adding on to that, it was like, whoa. And that's just about where we were when right before that, Keith jumped in and said, with what you've already done, I think I could replace my income in a year. And at
Hmm.
that point, I'm like, I don't know, but I hope so. If you're going to quit your job. And we did that and more. And so now, starting year 6 here, it is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So many times, right? I talk to agents all the time. I know you do too. I see agents trying to do so many different things at once. They got so many irons in the fire and things like that. One thing I think, your guys' model, in my opinion, really is a lesson is sometimes there's huge opportunity by keeping it simple, which you guys have done. You focus on your area there allows you to really be the specialist of your area in a way
Right.
that nobody is. And that's a lot easier than somebody trying to get in 25 states and being the person and, and working with all these states and all these markets and all these plans and all these things. That is so much more of an attainable task, I feel like, for somebody starting off, which was so smart on your guys' end. Also, um, the I know that you've done some seminars. I know that, I know you're huge on the referral partners and the networking, but really between those two things and the postcard system, that's really the majority of the marketing that you've done, right? Like you haven't tried to do 20 different lead sources or all this stuff. Like you really zeroed in and focused on what was working and doubling down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I would probably say 90% of our business till we've gone like totally referral now was between the postcards and then just all the local networking. And again, going to meetings and transparency. I don't go to anything networking wise that meets every week. Some people have great success with that. And actually, a couple people that got our course were like, oh, we were thinking we shouldn't do that because you said you don't do that. But here's what we found. And there are some that have exploded by doing those networking groups that meet every week. And we're like, oh
Hmm.
my gosh, keep going. So
Yeah.
it is a little bit, we've had tweaks here and there to see what works, but no, we went between those two things and really went heavy into the referral partners. So that yeah, we're going in all the time to do seminars, and we're not inviting anybody, we're not providing the food, we're not doing anything. We're showing up, and when we're walking out, everyone's thank you so much, thank you so much. The different financial advisors, banks, elder law attorneys, they're like, I can't believe you don't charge for this. Well, we're getting lots of clients out of it. And yeah, so that's probably 90% of our business. That's where it's come from. We can take it all the way back to that. And now it's those people that we met along the way just referring us like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to kind of point that out for anybody that's listening because, you know, I feel like so many of you guys, you need a model that you can duplicate. You need something that allows you to really kind of plug in and duplicate a proven process. And I think that's what Becky and Keith have created, you know, a business in a box of sorts
Mhm.
um, with this training. So I just kind of wanted to highlight that. Um, Talk a little bit more about, you know, how valuable everything that you talked about it a little bit, but talk about how valuable everything that Keith's contributions on the CRM and the automations and really kind of bringing that efficiency, how much growth did that bring through
Oh,
kind of saving time on all this stuff? Because you were rocking and rolling, on your own, but I know
right.
when Keith came in, it kind of took things to another level. So I know that's a big part of your training as well. Talk about
Yeah,
that part of it.
absolutely. So granted, he did have all the IT background, right? So he could do it very quickly and efficiently to get set up. So if it can be automated, it is.
Mm.
So besides having the actual appointment, sitting down face to face with people, we can't automate that. Although we have automated we've recorded the whole conversation and then we send that out in an email that's automated once they book an appointment. So they watch it before they get to us. So many people are like, oh, I've already seen, yeah, I saw that. So we can highlight rather than spending as much time, which again, we're more efficient that way. So
Yeah.
yeah, he is done. And every year, and one of the things he did because we started this course, he knew people would be asking. He's like, I want to be as real with everyone that we're trying to help and support along the way to say, hey, this is what we started with, but maybe here's what we tweaked, or hey, this is still good. And that's what he's done with a lot of things that we've automated in the different, systems that he uses. He goes out there and shops everything at the end of every year and then comes back. And thus far, everything's pretty much stayed the same. We've added a couple of things here or there, but then again, he makes videos for that and takes you through step by step how to do it. So
Yeah.
that is, it's a game changer. And again, because he kept it simple, like literally anybody can do that. You can
Yeah.
just like, okay, here it is, and play the video. Now I do this. Play the video. Now I click on this. He literally made it step by step of how to set up all these automations. So I think we're at the point we get more questions and feedback on that. It's like once people have started the marketing, they're like, okay, I got that. But oh my gosh, we have to talk to Keith because this is working and thanks for doing that. So lots of times he's taken over most of the meetings because it's all about the automations and the systems that now people are next level diving into that and he can help them with that. So
Yeah.
that's been huge. It's been huge.
Yeah. I mean, the marketing might sound when you hear about the training, right? The marketing might sound like the flashy, shiny object. It's like, ooh, I want to learn that, which that is immense. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but that stuff is so important and for a lot of people very difficult to figure out. So by having him be a resource and providing actionable, simple ways of kind of setting it up is huge.
It's
So
huge.
important.
It's invaluable. To me, he's way more important than I am in this duo. Like, because if there's a problem, he'll fix it. Someone has a question like, this isn't working. And then he's like, oh, I hit that too. Here's what we do. Can you jump on a call quick or can we Zoom? And it's invaluable. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's helped take us. I couldn't, even if I had stayed by myself, I have no doubt I would be at probably half of where we are now, just because to do the kind of volume we've done, we had to automate and have systems in place. There was
Yeah.
no continue the traditional paper and pen way. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad, but there was just no way to grow to what we did without having all those systems, and
Yeah.
that's key. That's key. Yep.
I love it. I love it. And congratulations to you guys for reaching to that point where You could just go referral based. You guys have done amazing, and it's been fun for me to be able to be a small part of it and watch from afar and kind of watch your guys' growth. So congratulations on that. That is an amazing achievement that you guys have gotten to, and it speaks to what you guys are teaching. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a lot of there's a lot of credibility there.
Yeah.
Um,
And we're still married and we're still having fun. So
yeah, yeah,
thank goodness for that.
yeah.
Because yeah, 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 we're still having a blast. We love it.
I love it. I love it. Guys, like I said earlier, we have a link to Becky and Keith's course in the description of this video. It's going to be at the very top. Highly recommend you take a look at it. Consider kind of jumping in if, you know, you want to create a business that can attract people to you. People are calling you, right? Like more than you can handle, like what Keith and Becky have gotten to the point to. Um, this is a great opportunity, to kind of be able to kind of learn what they've done and be able to replicate the details of that. Any final thoughts, Becky, you want to share about the training or just kind of some things you guys have learned along the way?
Yeah, I think kind of the hot topic that's been in our monthly group sessions are people are really concerned about prescription drug plans, and of
Right.
course not being commissionable and how much time they take. One of the best things that Keith found by doing research last year is a program where you can plug in. It is another CRM if anyone's ever heard of. It's called Search and Save.
Hmm.
We don't use it that way. But where you can take your clients' prescriptions, put them in the system, and then they're there forever. Because I used to always use Medicare.gov, and like once it's gone, it's gone. Or if I want to manipulate it, so having a system where you can add drugs, delete drugs, you can admit them, just put them like in a separate area. Like maybe if we included it, maybe if we didn't, and it just automatically updates from year to year, and every drug plan in the area is connected to it, so you're still getting what the
Yeah.
costs are, what the co-pays are. That was probably our latest investment that we did last year at this time. And that's when we brought our son on board because we said, hey, this is a great job for an assistant or a VA. We had him, so he wasn't virtual. He was actually here, but we could make sure he did it. And that was a game changer for us. And I mean, our AEP, I mean, was as easy as could be when it came to prescription drugs. But we invested the time now. So if someone's saying, "Hey, what's something I should look into now?" That's what I would do
I
to
love
try
it.
to make it. And that's also those who have our course have said, "Oh my gosh," those who have gotten it, they're like, "You're kidding me. There's like a system that just does this." And when other people are saying, "Oh, this system that does it, we're glitchy or they haven't updated," we found this to be like real time. So again, Keith's research, IT, he went out, he looked at stuff, tested stuff, and that's a big thing. So kind of looking ahead, who knows what's going to happen this AEP, but
Yeah.
our drug plan is literally to do a review. We go in, has anything changed? We update it, boom, it gives us the next list for the next year and all the plans and the costs. And it's so easy. So that's probably been our biggest new thing that we've added. So if people heard me talk before, this is something that we've done and are grateful to have in our corner because it was the most time consuming aspect of our business. And now it's the least amount of time that we spend. So, so easy.
I
So
love it. And
another
for
little
and
thing.
and for most agents, that is the biggest pain point they have, especially during AEP. And for you guys, you've eliminated the pain point almost entirely.
Big
Um,
deal. Yep. It's no big deal. And now everybody that comes in, we put them in our CRM and also put them in search and save, and we're ready to go in a couple minutes to talk to anybody. So
I love
yeah.
it. I love
Yep.
it. Well-oiled machine. Well-oiled machine. Um, well, Becky, thank you for coming on and doing this. It's always a blast. I always love when you get a chance to shoot a video together. People always love it when we do videos together.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been a little while, and I'm just glad we got the opportunity to do this. Um, Thank you so much for your time, your value, everything like that. And for any of you guys that are watching, get into the course. Again, in the description, top of the description. Check it out. This is the biggest bang for your buck. There's so many courses out there that are 10, 15, 20 grand. I've been through tons of courses. This is as good as any course you're going to find for our space specifically. So make sure that you check it out.
Awesome. We thank you very much and appreciate you and partnering with you and the support. So we're a good team.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Guys, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, we appreciate you. You know what to do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for future content. Um, Ask any questions in the comments that you wish that maybe I would have asked Becky that we didn't have time to get around to. Maybe there is a number 2 in the works in the coming months. And we'll see you guys on the next one with someone doing big time things in the space. Thanks, everybody.